Here's a very, very mild, this video is transphobic. If you don't want to watch that, feel free to leave. It's bad. We're gonna talk about how it's bad, but it's real bad. This guy, actual Nazi James Allsup. So let's go ahead and switch our what we're doing. Close enough for me.
How you feeling today, Jazz?
Yeah, okay, so this guy, the new N-word. Oh gosh. So I saw this video. It was recommended to me. Yeah, okay. We have a decent idea of what this guy's about. Proud to be an American nationalist. Right, it's pretty obvious. We know what we're talking about here. White male is the new N-word. Oh, fuck. Come back from getting chicken parm to see Lexi pull up some Nazis YouTube videos. It's gonna be good. Okay, okay. Oh, okay, now I'm curious about what the new N-word is. We do that one first? Well, we can do that one after. Let's talk about this first. We're not watching him at normal speed either. You can't understand him, let me know. We'll switch it, but whatever.
That's a big bitch.
It's not coffee, it's actually black tar heroin. Sometimes I feel like I'm becoming a baby boomer early. Not just because of the riding lawnmower and the Birkenstocks and the jean shorts and Monster Zero Ultra energy drinks. No, because back in my day, men and women were women, and we played Pokemon cards and rode bicycles and traded Beyblades and stuff. Back in my day. Oh,
Back in your day when you didn't have to fucking pay attention to anything, you were a kid and everything was just kind of easy because you're white and probably middle class. Yeah. Damn. Must be hard, like, engaging with, like, the real world now.
So back in my day, people smashed that MF and like button down below
Did they?
and left a comment about their favorite childhood memories before the world became the clownscape it now is.
Clown. Oh, fuck. You guys hear that shit? Get those clown memes in here. Huh. The world's a clown world? That's definitely not Nazi dog whistling. No, no, no. It's okay. Don't worry. It's just a clown world. He's just saying it's a silly world. It's a silly world, of course.
I can only imagine what it's going to be like for my kids when they talk about how it was like when they grew up. America is a collapsing empire with a sick, evil culture in many ways, and kids of today are going to experience that firsthand. Whereas we learned how clouds work and about American history, our kids are going to be learning about gender conversion, how to talk to their parents about their male-to-female surgeries.
I mean, you can do both, right? Like, trans people didn't grow up and go to, like, a completely different public education to become trans. They just, like, you still teach the normal shit that you should teach your kids. People just think this is another thing that should get brought up, because when it's not, leads to a lot of, like, really shitty ignorance. Wonder if this guy knows anything about ignorance.
And how America was really founded by Latinx, obese, disabled, polyamorous women of color explorers. And they will learn that beauty is not based on symmetry.
So we're not gonna we're just gonna put out dumb shit like. Also, hold on, I have to let him finish this line.
Disabled, polyamorous women of color explorers. And they will learn that beauty is not based on symmetry, aesthetic, or proportion. They'll learn that beauty is subjective, like the
What do you mean? Oh, fuck.
modern job interview. It's decided not about how qualified you are, how good you are, but how many intersectionality points you can rack up.
No, okay, first of all, one thing at a time. First of all, people are gonna teach their kids normal stuff in school. That's still gonna happen. This is just another thing that gets added on. You add on this extra thing. As we learn new stuff, we add it on. You learn, you try to stop ignorance. Like, I mean, it's normal shit there. Like, whatever. Secondly, beauty is subjective. You ever, like, see somebody? I'm sure even this guy has seen somebody and thought that they were hot, and, like, a friend of his didn't think that they were hot. That's subjective. It's not objective. There's no objective beauty. There are things that look nice to some people, and there are some measures by which some things you can measure them and try to figure out what people lean towards the most, but it's totally subjective. Your experiences will greatly affect what you find attractive and what you find unattractive, but okay.
I look forward to the day when the public schools teach my children that people like this, Shay Neary, if that's the name he or she is going by at that point, are truly beautiful because they live their truths, regardless of what hateful internet meanies or basic biology have to say about it. Today,
Okay, that's another. I like that switch up there, Allsup, where you say, this person.
he is going by at that point are truly beautiful because they live their truths.
They're beautiful because they live their truths. Oh my God.
Regardless of what hateful internet meanies or basic biology have
Basic biology has nothing to do about like how beautiful you are or seen in the eyes of society. That's just a fucking like this is like the right's version of like virtue signaling. You just kind of say a thing is shitty a bunch and then you're like, okay, well, we did it, and you fucking conflate it with everything else. God damn, it's frustrating.
to say about it. Today we're going to learn how Shay Neary made history by becoming a trans plus-size woman model of color. And this person is more important than Andrew Jackson. Take Jackson off the $20 bill.
See, I like this again. You start reframing things as things that these people have never claimed to be. Never, ever. This is like a person who's talking about their fashion shit. Why are you claiming that, like, they're trying to, like, rewrite history and stuff? This is so... Oh, God, it's dumb.
Put this person right on the 20. They deserve it. More than Harriet Tubman, in fact. Harriet Tubman was just a woman and black. This is a trans, large, overweight woman. And
see, he, like, makes these dumb points about, like, intersectionality and, like, all about how many intersectionality points you can rack up. But then just, like... He doesn't actually, like, engage with any of the actual things that these people are talking about. He just lies. He just makes up shit and says, look, see, they're being so dumb. They're all these intersectional points. They say that Harriet Tubman shouldn't go on the $20 bill when none of these people have said anything like that. It's fucking ridiculous.
they deserve it more. We'll look at some of the truly horrible bits from this video. And then, speaking of truly horrible bits, there was a thread on a certain website that had stories about transgender surgeries and the ramifications thereof. So we're gonna turn it over. We're gonna pry the flaps apart, pull the hairball out, and uncover the festering truth about... I can't even do it. We're going to uncover the truth about these horrible surgeries. What we find may or may not shock you, depending on how many hours you spent on LiveLeak. Break out the Tyvek suit for this one because we're going in deep. But first, I have a few words about tech censorship. We all know that...
Shush. You're gonna fucking...
Big tech, Silicon Valley censorship of conservatives and the right has gone into overdrive in recent years. If you didn't know that, like, have you even been paying attention? I want to tell you about a new social .net. Use the link things like PocketNet, Gab, Mayans, and others are becoming increasingly necessary in a world where you can have your First Amendment rights revoked for simply saying that
you can't. That's again. Oh God, I skipped ahead because he's fucking pushing some dumb platform. But goddamn, no, your First Amendment rights don't get revoked for not being able to talk on Twitter. Twitter can have a terms of service. The First Amendment only refers to the government coming in and stopping your speech. Please stop lying. For once, you fucking dumbasses.
And dressed as a woman is actually a man. Or that perhaps people shouldn't get surgeries that have an over 30% complication rate.
Oh, you hear that? Over 30% complication rate. I think he's gonna say we'll look more into that later, but we'll look more into that later, so...
We'll find out more about that in a minute.
I'm known as a plus-size model. I'm a trans advocate, work an executive-level job. I haven't gotten where I've gotten by not being so honest. I've gotten where I've gotten by being as genuine as possible.
I don't know about how you got where you are, Shay, but I do know that you're lying to me right now. And you're lying to yourself. You know what I mean. And that executive-level job, Shay Neary, more like Dwight Schrute, more like Gareth Keenan up in this piece. According to your own LinkedIn, you're an executive assistant. Not an executive, an executive assistant.
Wow, damn, look at that terrible lying. Worst thing in the world. Do I have to, should I feign interest in this part? Like, I don't know, like, you talk up your position and stuff like that to make yourself sound better. People do it all the time. You do it to promote yourself. How many guys that like work that built a singular app one time and put it on the App Store say that they're like a software developer mogul or whatever. Like, just go fuck yourself. Like, whatever.
Literally the assistant to the regional manager. This may be my dumb, uneducated, ignorant, unsophisticated, goyish naivete coming out.
Goyish, huh? I wonder why you bring that up. Huh.
Never heard of this supposedly high-powered, high-caliber brand she modeled for. Cover Story NYC, a plus-size women's clothing company based, as you guessed, in NYC.
Again, why is he trying to make this sound like she's like saying that she's like the most important person in the world. She literally just said that she's a plus size fashion model. Like,
They have a total of 2,176. No, make that 2,177.
oh
followers on
man,
the
you're
old
so
Instagram.
funny,
Not
James.
to brag, but
Super
I have
cool.
like 5 times as many. So am I a fashion powerhouse now too?
no, because you don't do fashion. Like, why are we using these not even arguments?
I wasn't always the nicest trans woman, like within my own community. A lot of times I judged people who weren't passable, or I judged people who didn't fit into the gender classifications, and not because I didn't like them as people, but just because I didn't understand what they were going through. I couldn't relate to how my cross-dresser friends would feel comfortable in women's clothing and then go out as a man. For me, being as a man felt so inherently uncomfortable. Like, oh, you're not trans. You diminish people. You're like, I'm worth more than you are because I'm passable. That's worthless.
I used to read history books and wonder what it would be like to be a Roman patrician, living through the fall of the Roman Empire, watching a formerly great civilization fall to pieces around you. I don't wonder anymore. I don't need.
For like a trans person just talking, he thinks this is the fall of Western civilization. I mean, he's doing the meme. He's doing the fucking dog whistling meme. It's cool. I mean, it's super obvious, but whatever.
Need to.
The makeup and the hair and the outfits, that's not what it means to be a woman. Those are men's ideals of what it means to be a woman, not women.
Wowee, I bet women are so glad, ecstatic, that they have this hero. They have Shay to rescue them from the confusion about what it means to be a woman.
No, she didn't say that either. God damn, these arguments are so dishonest. This person's literally talking about various pieces of femininity, the way that any feminist would deconstruct femininity in our society. Like, none of this is what you're saying it is, James. I don't know why you won't just engage with the arguments realistically, except I think we all know why.
Women have never known for thousands of years what it means to be a woman, but thank frig Shane Erie is here to teach them. I would
thank frig Nazi fucking American nationalist himself, James Allsup, is here to tell us that this person's wrong. Thank God. Oh gosh, save those women from that trans woman. You did it.
argue that womanhood is intertwined with fertility and motherhood, the ability to conceive, birth, and nurture a child. That natural ability a woman has. That even
there's plenty of people that, of course, you would consider women that can't do that, but you don't care about that, James. Of course you don't.
Child's father doesn't have to comfort a screaming, upset infant. Nah, frig all of that. All it takes to be a woman is to feel kind of girly and have a doctor cut you a flesh hole.
I would say I grew up as a sheltered...
Yikes. That's not true at all. And we learned that gender is, a social construct, something that just exists in our society between people. And it has a lot to do with, norms and gender roles and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of pieces that go into, what is gender itself and how do you relate to your own. But no, of course, it's the cutting the wound or whatever, however James puts it.
Heavyset white kid in Northeast Pennsylvania with drunken parents who are slightly abusive.
Calling your parents slightly abusive is like saying you were slightly murdered. You're either
No, that's not true. It's not true at all. You can see that like abusers aren't necessarily just evil people. They're people that can do lots of good, loving things and then also still be abusive. This is not an open shut, a binary 0-1 thing. There's a gradient there. There are different types of abuse. But no, it's okay. We just have to make sure that we cut down anything this trans activist says, okay?
Or you're out. You poor little thing. Your dad came home from the pub at 3 a.m. and sang My Little Armalite till he passed out. You were abused. Imagine
yeah,
being
man,
Shay's
that's
parents,
exactly what
having
she
your son
said.
Switch genders and then call you abusive for millions of people to see on the internet. Jay's parents, if you're out there, reach out because I would love to get your side of the story.
Love to get your side of the story. What story? Everyone can admit that their parents fucked up sometimes. I know mine did. I'm sure if I was a parent, I would too. It's not an easy, it's not I don't know what this guy thinks parenthood is. But it's clearly so far removed from reality. That's okay though.
People don't like. Part of that was letting go of all of the costuming of what femininity is. Women, cisgender women, fall into that same pit. I think they fall into the I need to be like every other woman. I need to have her breasts, her hair, her butt, her nose, her legs, and I don't want to look like myself. At the end of the day, I'm still trans.
Speaking of pits and parts nobody wants to see, it's well and good to make fun of silly people saying silly things on the internet, haha, goofy, but this transgender phenomenon is pretty serious. It's
pretty serious, you know. It's pretty serious.
Thousands of people broken both mentally and physically every single year.
Huh. You sure do seem like a do you have like a maybe a master's or a bachelor's or anything in psychology or maybe biology, anything like that? Because all of those organizations disagree with you. Sorry. The only people that are left like broken from this are like families that don't accept their trans family members. That's okay. They're shit. I mean, they're being, you know, unaccepting and ignorant oftentimes.
Let's dive in and find out what's happening. From Reddit, quote, I had several cases of male to female. Gynecologist here.
Okay. I don't really want to read this or have him read it. It's gross. It's talking about a complication with like a GRS and SRS surgery. It's gross. There's something not right down there. The patient was taking off their underwear. There's like gross stuff. All right. Infections. And they go on to say some of the other stuff. All right. It's kind of gross. Had a horrible smell. Whatever. Because, well, wounds, you know, surgeries are gross. They can be gross. And on top of that, vaginas themselves, they're not, like, there's a lot going on there. But, so he wants to make an argument here about complications.
Of what you'll find if you do a Google search for transgender surgery horror stories. Funny how the necrosis never makes it into the happy fun time fashion videos. They never
mostly because those aren't that often. But come on, we can keep going.
Tell you about wounds closing up and rehealing, or anal fistulas that literally make male to female transgender
things that happen with basically all surgeries, but we'll keep going.
Do big shit from their neo-vaginas. The whole thing is an abject horror show, according to what limited research there is.
Complications, an overall complication rate of 32.5 and a reoperation rate of 21.7 for non-aesthetic reasons.
Recipients of the surgery go back to get complications treated. That's not counting.
Well, that's 1/5, but okay. Let's do some research. Okay, complications and surgical patients. Hey, look, I looked this up before because I got frustrated when I watched this video. It was really easy to find. Okay, complications in surgical patients. All inpatients, operative or non-operative, from 4 different surgical services: general surgery, combined surgery, general surgery, trauma, vascular surgery, and cardiothoracic. Oh gosh, fuck that word. Surgery. Results: the data for the respective groups. All right. Number of complications, total complication rate: 30.3, 42.4, 32.3, and 26.9. Minor complication rate: 13.3, 19.9, 13.5, 13.0. Major: 16, so this is the total, minor, major. And mortality rate: 1.8, 3.3, 2.2. So if you actually look at the actual studies, and instead of just saying, oh, look at how big the number is, that must mean that no wonder no one wants trans people to get it. No wonder this is like obviously a bad thing. No, this is the average kinds of complication rates for surgeries in general. It's nowhere near outside of it. This is directly in it: 32.5, 30, 42, 32, 26. This is directly in there. But he won't say that because he's a dishonest Nazi. But it's okay, James. Everyone knows, you know too, you're not being honest here. You haven't been honest yet in this video. That's okay.
The thousands of others, like those in these threads, that have complications and don't get them treated. This is what they're telling your kids is good, cool, normal, and safe.
Except for it's not. It's not at all. The thing that they're talking about with kids generally is hormone therapy or even hormone blockers, or puberty blockers, so you don't experience your puberty until like you either decide that you really are, you know, trans and you go on hormone therapy, or you stop the hormone blockers and you like have like your normal cis puberty. But whatever.
This is why they air Jazz Jennings' TV show and have her co-write children's books and market them to kids. They want this ghoulish suffering to be the new normal. And if you warn people of...
No, you're being dishonest. This isn't ghoulish suffering. The trans people who have to live without these things, without their hormones, without, you know, transitioning, Like, we've looked it up. We can look it up again. The studies for those suicides and stuff like that are significantly higher if you don't transition. And a lot of times the data shows that even if transitioning does cause a difference, like when it does cause a difference in suicide rate and makes it go down, if it doesn't cause a difference in the suicide rates and doesn't make it go down, it's usually coupled with like unacceptance in their communities. That's what those studies show. But you won't show those studies, James. You're not interested in like honest dialogue. Of course you're not. You're a fucking Nazi.
If you warn people about these very real complications, you're the bad guy. You're transphobic. Any society that allows this is evil. Okay, you know, freedom, we tried the freedom thing. People clearly can't handle it. Freedom, it's canceled. We're not doing freedom anymore. You shouldn't have the freedom to do this to yourself.
You shouldn't have the freedom to go fucking lie. Just like, this is just blatant lying. This is just like taking a single study. This is why you don't look at individual studies like this. You have to look at a broader scope here. This single 30, like, yeah, that sounds like a kind of high complication rate. Sure, a third complication rate sounds kind of high. Except for when you realize that that's exactly what all the complication rates are for basically everything else, every other surgery. I don't know. I don't know. It's so hard. It's so hard to want to continue to engage. Fuck, these people are so fucking frustrating. James, I know you're not looking for an honest conversation, but I'd love to talk sometime. Oh gosh. Just, this stuff is so obviously like designed to be dishonest. And I don't know. I want to know. I wish I could look into your brain to see what makes you want to be this dishonest about this stuff. But it's probably the Nazi brainworms.
It needs to be outlawed immediately. No questions asked. We live in a society, and the society in which we live accepts
needs to be outlawed. These other people are doing things to themselves that don't affect me. Outlaw that shit. You know? Oh, God.
Brutal, invasive surgeries that cause horrific, truly horrific complications in a huge number of patients. Our society even accepts these surgeries for children.
No, they don't. Please. God damn it. Fuck. Kids don't get these surgeries. It does not happen. It does not. It's just a fact. I'm sorry, James. I'm sorry you can't accept that. These things don't happen to kids.
For Jazz Jennings. Yet the idea of mental therapy to maybe help these people through the issues they're facing is considered off the table. That's inappropriate.
Actually, the fucking psychology, the APA, they agree. These people often do need therapy. Gender therapy that helps them come to terms with the fact that they are trans and helps them like make that transition. That's what we found is the most effective thing. You want to go and be anti-science, and that's okay. Whatever. Admit that you're lying. Admit that you're not using science. Admit that this is just bullshit because it makes you feel bad. Admit that it's because it doesn't fit your view for your fucking ethnocentric bullshit. Like, just go fuck yourself. God damn.
To be discussed, not an option. They refuse to even entertain the idea that maybe people's gender dysphorias can be cured through therapy, through talking these issues through. Nope. Break out the scalpel and power tools.
See, this is just a lie. I don't, like, there are people here, I'm sure, fucking self-inflate their egos until they can stand the sight of themselves in the mirror. 5 pukes for this one. Like, you shouldn't have to conform. You should be happy with who you are. Yes, they want to change themselves because they aren't happy with who they are, and they want to be passable and conform to what according to her. Okay, well, hold on, fuck. The doublespeak? No. Oh God, fucking kill me. People just they'll literally just believe in any of this. I don't know what's so hard about like actually looking up some of these claims that they're making. God damn. Okay, there's nothing else here. I'm done. This guy. I'm done with this guy. We can watch the new N-word because that sounds like a good meme. Oh God. It's canon now. Thanks for this subscription. 2 months, thank you. To the point of getting hysterically angry about oppression that isn't happening. Why does he make himself miserable with these conspiracy theories? Because just the thought of these people in his country makes him upset. The thought of people like me makes him upset. He wants his, like, he doesn't, look, he's a fucking Nazi. Like, a self-identified, I don't know if he actually says that he's a Nazi, but he, like, American nationalist and, oof, some of this stuff. He's a Nazi. It's what he is. It's because these these people are less than him in his eyes. That's what it is. People shouldn't be like this. They should be the one way that I say that they should be. All right, whatever.
Today's video is all about the N-word. It's a word you're never, ever, ever allowed to say. If you do, any violence committed against you is completely justified. And if you say it in a video that finds its way onto social media, you can forget about it. You might as well apply for your name change with the Social Security Administration now. Move far away, move out of country, because your professional career is over for good. The N-word, despite its recent reclamation...
That's not... None of this is true. Like, the people who usually end up losing their jobs over this stuff are not people who've, like, said it once on accident in a video. It's, like, people who repeatedly say it and are saying it in, like, really, really hateful ways, but... Okay.
and rehabilitation attempt by gamers is still probably the most offensive word in America. It tops the offensiveness charts, leaving in the dust lesser terms like... None of those have the same offensiveness potential, the raw power of the fabled N-word. Why? Well, the N-word, unlike any other word, is deeply intertwined with America's history of racial discontent. If you look back through history, it was actually never commonly used, but with the advent of 20th and 21st century media, the N-word has taken on new cultural significance.
I don't... This is painful. Oh, is it Nazi? Oh wait, I thought I saw it. I thought I saw it say Nazi. Hold on. All right, let's just keep going. Whatever.
A mythos, an energy, a real weight around the word, making it the one-stop shop for declaration of racial prejudice. Certainly, it can be deeply offensive, and I'm not encouraging anybody to say it. I'm not pro-N-word, but I am fascinated by how much power this word has in our modern vernacular. It's commonly understood to be a dehumanizing term, stripping the target of all humanity, shutting down any prospective conversation, and insinuating, rather bluntly, that the target of the word doesn't have anything to say, and doesn't deserve the right to say it. Dehumanizing is a very accurate descriptor. The American political left will complain about dehumanization all the time. Reporters, women, liberals, the NPC meme, after all, dehumanized believers in liberal ideology. And despite complaints about the right's dehumanizing language, the left has adopted dehumanizing language of their own. They have their own modern N-word. It's their N-word, their R-word.
This is the shit where, like, they literally think, they absolutely literally think that because this term is derogatory, like, because it's just used against a certain group of people and it's not nice, that it just, like, it becomes a slur. Like, there's a reason that people get called Nazis and racist, and it has nothing to do, like, the problem with, like, calling someone, like, the N-word is, like, the history and also the fact that the person you're referring to, it's like, it's on the, they can't even change it. You're saying it's like a basis of like who they are. They're inherently this thing, and they can't get away from it. Just by the color of their skin, by the way they look. But when you call someone a Nazi or a racist, you're like targeting like their opinions, the things that they've said. That do they really not see the difference? They do. It's okay.
Their WS word, their WN word. Most modern leftists will not hesitate to strip their opposition of all humanity, suggest they're less than human, and insinuate they don't deserve a place in society. They don't deserve the right.
Wait, hold on. What did he just say?
Word. It's their N word, their R word, their WS word, their WN word. Most modern leftists will not hesitate to strip their opposition of all humanity.
To say leftist while you have a tweet from Mitt Romney up is... I don't really have words.
Suggest they're less than human, and insinuate they don't deserve a place in society. They don't deserve the right to even exist. Their modern N-word is racist.
Actually, I mean, I think that they do deserve the right to exist as long as they stop being like that, as long as they stop holding those views and opinions. Yeah, go for it. But that's not what you want. At the end of the day, there's nothing that like a black person can do to make it in your ethno state. You want me dead regardless. Like that's the difference. When it comes down to it, that's what it is that like no matter how like extreme or whatever you think either side is, like you are holding views that like someone can never change. They just have to be this bad thing forever.
them saying the N-word is racist in a modern context. I mean, the word racist itself has taken on many of the same functions as the N-word has before it. The new dehumanizing language of the left deserves explanation. I believe it's leading to a dangerous political climate. The modern American political polemic has devolved into nothing more than sophisticated, mentally gymnastic, competitive ways to compare the other guy to World War II historical villains. Do you ever feel like the people on TV, the talking heads, talking politics, are just talking past each other, exchanging preconceived talking points, never addressing the real issues? That the political game is nothing more than a charade, kabuki theater?
Well, I mean, they often do have their things that they have to get out because they have a platform they want to get out without letting the other person take too much control over it. But it's not like, I don't know how much I'd say is like kabuki theater or whatever. That's like, these are various people from, like, they're not all like politicians that are like going on these shows. These are like lots of different people from lots of different contexts, you know, book writers, philosophers, fucking, there's like a bunch of different groups of people. And yeah, they do. It's very common to try to get your talking point out and don't let the other person take too much control of the show or whatever. But whatever,
That's sort of what's going on. The left's new N-word was bestowed upon them by histrionic journalists and neurotic academics, the type of people that see Nazis lurking around every corner. Now,
no, they're not by like, no, it's not from like neurotic, like sociologists or whatever he said. It's that there are groups of people who share a similar identity, who share similar worldview, who share similar ideas on how to fix it. It's not like random. It's not, oh, hey, you said the N-word once and now you think ethno-nationalism is cool. No, it's like there are people who advocate for ethno-nationalism, who advocate for a white ethno-state, for forcibly removing black and brown and queer and all sorts of people from everything. I don't, oh God.
It's infected normal discourse. One of them are leftists, liberals, Antifa, and even some conservatives are using language more dehumanizing than even the language used by evil, scary Southerners. What they say horrible, evil, racist, bigoted Southerners did with the N-word, liberals and journalists are now doing with their own version of
also,
the N-word.
I like that he's like constantly, constantly trying to say what they say we did with the N-word. We didn't actually do that, while like actually advocating for literal like white nationalism.
Want to shut down an argument? Call your opposition a Nazi and remind the public that Nazis don't deserve to be argued against. Want to take away someone's right to free speech? Call someone a Nazi and scream that Nazis don't deserve the right to speak freely. Want to incite...
I mean, that's a nice story you're telling yourself. It really is. I mean, I understand why you want to tell it this way, but you literally say the same kind of shit. You literally made a whole video about a trans woman talking about her fashion and tried to say that she was like telling women what to do, and like you do this kind of shit all the time. You dehumanize your opponent. You literally said that oh no, I can't even say transphobes, or I can't even say transphobic shit without being called a transphobe. God damn it. Fuck.
Violence against your political opposition? You know where this is going. Call someone a Nazi and run full court press talking about how great and heroic punching Nazis is. How American soldiers in World War II are basically indistinguishable from modern Antifa of today. And run TV programs glorifying political violence against figures with the wrong ideas. American right-wingers and nationalists are treated worse today by the corporate establishment, the government, and the media than activists for civil rights ever were in the 1960s.
Oh my God. Martin Luther King Jr. was literally assassinated. Please go fuck yourself about whining about fucking YouTube or Twitter banning people. Go fuck yourself. The fucking US government drops bomb on black neighborhood. Are you serious? Like the civil rights movement and shit like that? You like we're really gonna push this? The police literally dropped a bomb in Philly on a neighborhood because, like, I think it was the Black Panther Party was staying there.
There's the explosion.
What you're looking at now is a live picture.
Please go fuck yourself. Please. Oh my God. You have no idea. This is such blatant dishonest framing. Like, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. If you honestly believe this, you've not engaged with any of the history at all. You've just not. You've disengaged from all of it.
indisputable. It's not always Nazi. Sometimes they'll call you a white supremacist, a racist, a bigot, or any variation. Regardless, these terms aren't designed to be accurate or descriptive.
They are. I don't know why you think that they're not. I mean, I do. You're not trying to be honest, but like I don't know why he pretends like he's never said anything that might be considered, you know, a little fucked up. Let's see. See how hard it is to find something. James Allsup denies he's a racist. Participated in the white nationalist rally in Charlottesville? Huh. Heather Heyer was killed accidentally. Was reported to have made racist remarks to his driver as they passed by the National Museum of African American History and Culture. This subsequently led to him being asked to leave the car, followed by his banning from Uber. Fuck. Syrian bombing footage is false flagged. Why do gays make up 2% of the population and yet make up approximately 30% of all the sex predators? Oh, and that sounds like the what is it? The pit bull. Poor whites commit less crimes than middle class blacks. The average African IQ is below 70. Yeah, well, how could anybody ever think that you're a racist? A Nazi? Must be so hard to get people to believe that.
They're designed to marginalize and suppress dissident voices. If you've been branded a racist hate monger by the media and activists, many people won't do the research and look into what you actually say or what you actually believe. They'll take...
That's hilarious. Right as we look it up. Right. Oh gosh, James, you're such a fucking dumbass. Yeah, you're right. Most people don't look into shit. That's why you're popular, honestly. That's why you get 74,000 views, because you can just lie in a video over and over again. You don't have to look anything up. You don't really have to cite any of your statistics. You cited one shitty statistic in your last video, and it was god awful. It was uncontextualized. I don't know what to tell you, James. Oh god. Candace Owens, Tim Pool. Fuck you. Oh god. I can't. Oh fuck. This is actually painful. I think this is relevant.
Nazi.
Wie bitte? Haben Sie mich gerade als Nazi beschimpft?
Na, Sie sind doch einer.
Das ist eine Unverschämtheit. Nur weil ich in der NSDAP und in der SS bin, bin ich noch lange kein Nazi. Wahrscheinlich bin ich auch noch rechtsextrem, oder was?
Ja, aber was sollen Sie denn sonst sein?
Ich bin vielleicht ein besorgter
Maybe I'm a
Bürger,
concerned citizen
der
who's
Angst
afraid
vor
of foreign
Fremden hat.
domination.
Aber ich bin nicht rechts. Und ich bin erst recht kein Nazi. Sie da? Sehe ich etwa wie ein Nazi aus?
Nö, würde ich jetzt nicht sagen.
Na, sehen Sie? Aber der ist wahrscheinlich für Sie auch ein Nazi, hm? Nazis, 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 lauter Nazis. Wenn einem die Argumente ausgehen, dann holt man schnell mal die gut.
The quality on that was shit, but yeah, I've seen that video going around. I didn't actually watch it. I watched like the first like 5 seconds of it, but oh my god, the Black Wall Street. I don't think I know enough about that, at least to know it off of that alone. God damn.
what they read.
That is a good video, by the way. That, I mean, yeah, it's the point. And obviously, these people like push really, really hardcore far right. You know, you can't don't deviate from like the cis white religious point of view, except for maybe you can be like a little edgier than like religious people would want you to be. That's it. That's it. You have to, you know, men marry women, and if you're not white, get fucked. I mean, that's what this is. I don't. Oh god, I don't think I can go through a whole video of him claiming that Nazi is the new N-word. It's just so obviously untrue, so obviously like misinformed, actively disinforming.
At face value and dismiss all of your ideas as being those propagated by a racist hate monger. Often these slurs will comically fall flat, usually when used against people that by definition can't fit the slur being used against them. For example, when Candace Owens...
Oh my god. Oh my god. They really do. I don't know how either enough people believe them when they say it, or if they believe, but that like if you're black or if you're gay or whatever, you can't be like homophobic or racist against like, you know, your own race. Like of course you can. You can be, and even if you don't go all the way, you can still be a useful idiot for the right, for Nazis, for white nationalists. I mean, it's the whole like fucking Richard Spencer says, you know, that people like Sargon and stuff, they're the door, they're the useful idiot to get people in the door to white nationalism. They go just far enough. They lay out all the descriptive claims without ever saying any of the normative ones. They don't ever say any of the shit like therefore we ought to do XYZ. You just say, oh, you know, well, it's true black people have lower IQ. But I'm not saying I'm not saying we should do something about it, but you know, maybe it'd be better if white people all lived in a neighborhood by themselves. I don't know. It's really, really fucking dumb.
Referred to as a neo-Nazi, or when Tim Pool, who is part Korean, is referred to as a white supremacist. Everyone can see that face value.
Yeah, can't you see that the super heavily Korean Tim Pool? He seems like he really heavily identifies with that part of his identity. Oh wait, no, he's actually said more than once he doesn't identify with that part of his identity. Huh. Interesting.
Pool, who is part Korean, is referred to as a white supremacist. Everyone can see that face value that that's not what's going on. What about when it isn't so obvious? What I've noticed is that when those accusations are deployed against white men, when the media calls a white guy a Nazi, white supremacist, etc., a lot of people believe it without questioning. Even worse,
or there's facts cited like right alongside of it, like we just did, to show that yeah, you probably are pretty Nazi-esque, buddy. That's okay.
People who call themselves skeptics, who are critical and distrusting of the mainstream media, will take these accusations and stay silent. They won't publicly fight back against them. They'll remain silent, on the sidelines, still intimidated by the power of the mainstream media. I think that tends to happen because the accusation is technically possible. When the SPLC or Daily Beast falsely accuses
It's always possible. Oh my god, it's not just, oh fuck. Is this like the white men are like the most targeted and that's why it's okay to fight back? Oh, and we're gonna bring up the fucking dumb video that we watched the other day. Oh god.
of being a white supremacist, well, you know, I am a white male. If I were black, like Candace Owens, or part Korean, like Tim Pool, that accusation would be immediately dismissed. And
no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be immediately dismissed. We would go through the things that you've said, like when Jesse Lee Peterson says dumb shit, like black people are slow and stupid. You have to explain it to me because I'm slow and stupid. Oh my god, you can be racist against like your own race. These don't fall flat immediately. Then when you constantly call a white president who is like advocated for some really racist shit, the great white hope, like Jesse Lee Peterson does. Fuck. Trump a white savior for the black community.
That you wrote about his parents.
Have a relationship with his father. His father wasn't there, so he could look at his father, identify with him, and see the right way to go. So Barack Obama still has a void within him. He doesn't have love.
Barack Obama has a void within him. In him, he doesn't have love. Oh God, fuck. Holy shit. All right, whatever. Obama does not have love, confirmed. And obviously this also, because he doesn't have love, this destroys the entire left wing. So there's no point in even continuing at this point.
All skeptics would be able to see that as ridiculous. But when it's being made against a white guy, when that accusation is made against a white guy, there are a lot of good people who may be skeptical of the mainstream media who still aren't sure and still partially fall for it. We've seen reputations, families, careers destroyed by media smear campaigns like this. Gavin McInnes immediately comes to mind. He went...
Bring on all your favorite Nazis, you know, fucking Gavin McInnes here, so that we're not accused of not looking things up. Let's yeah, why not? likeness reflected on how the trip affected his attitudes. I'm becoming anti-Semitic. His desire to clarify the beliefs of Holocaust deniers. Like at one point, the Yad Vashem tour guide goes, you know, there are people who think that this didn't happen, and I found myself defending the super far right Nazis because I was so sick of so much brainwashing. I felt like going, well, they never said it didn't happen. What they're saying is that they think it was much less than 6 million, that they starved to death, and that they weren't gassed. Oh, the Holodomor, that was by, oh fuck, that was by Marxist, Stalinist, left-wing, commie, socialist Jews. Yeah, no, man, this guy was smeared as a Nazi. Can you believe this? What bullshit? Can you believe that someone as upright, an upright moral individual such as Gavin McGinnis could get smeared as a Nazi? I wonder why. Huh. That's okay.
From having an
That's
immensely
okay.
popular show on Rebel Media and leading the Proud Boys Club to being deplatformed from Twitter and Facebook and fired from his job at CRTV, all because of a nefarious, malicious media smear campaign propagated by the SPLC and their allies in the media. He was falsely...
It'd be really, really cool if James Allsup could like say any sentence without being like a smarmy liar the entire time. Alright, I want to fucking skip over this dumb video. We already watched it. See what fucking dumb point he's gonna make it about milkshakes.
First to find themselves hit with milkshakes at campaign events. The media laughed this off. No, it's just a prank, it's just a silliness, just a bit of fun, mate. The Atlantic, in true Orwellian fashion, even went so far as to call this non-violent action. The surface level point of
I'd call it violent, but it's not really the same kind of violence as like punching somebody. I think it's pretty drastically different. You are throwing something, there is an ability to be hurt, but not at all with the same kind of level or intentions. Like it's not like I don't know. It doesn't seem to make sense to put it on the same level. They are both violent. I'll agree it's violence, but I'll also agree that the things that Sargon and Mr. Allsup here advocate for are violence in themselves. They vote for violent things. I mean, yeah. Morally, we have a right to stand up to that. I don't see a problem with that, but it's okay.
milkshaking, obviously, is to embarrass the candidate, to totally own and troll them. But let's be clear, the main point of milkshaking is to demonstrate how defenseless candidates are, and how easy it would be for someone to go and assassinate these candidates if they really wanted to. Don't listen to me. Check out this helpful admission from our friends in Antifa. They're openly stating that assassination is the next level up. As their tactics intensify, their targets diversify too. Just yesterday, an elderly man in the UK was hit with a milkshake because he was wearing a pro-Brexit ribbon. According to Antifa's logic, next up for him is a brick, a Molotov cocktail.
Well, most people don't actually think that about this guy. But that's okay. Okay, that's all right.
The individuals committing these actions deserve some responsibility, of course.
Not
but
important.
So does the media for inciting and justifying violent action like this. They gin up people's fears, incite hysteria.
I mean, what about would you incite hysteria about like Muslims coming to destroy the Western civilization? I don't have much sympathy for you, buddy.
Around figures like Tommy Robinson, Sargon of Akkad, Nigel Farage, and others, and then cheer as those people are assaulted. Civil rights advocacy is an important element of being a good liberal. As they would tell you, it was brave liberals who guaranteed the rights of African Americans to things like equal education and housing, over the objections, presumably, of...
I mean, no, not entirely. There were actually a lot of them that were way more concerned with preserving, peace rather than actual justice. But that's besides the point.
Backwards folks that said the N-word. Today, prominent anti-fascists like Anti-Fash Gordon brag about getting people dehomed, getting them fired. In other words, taking away their civil rights. The same thing they would accuse evil, bigoted Southern N-word sayers of doing to black people. I'm not saying that Democrats are the real racists or that Antifa are the real fascists. No. In fact, we need to fundamentally reject that line of thinking. By making the conversation all about racists and Nazis, the left is tricking you into a polemic where they argue the following. Premise 1. Everyone agrees Nazis are bad. Premise 2. Violence against Nazis is morally acceptable. Premise 3. Opponents of liberalism are Nazis.
No, that's the lie. That right there. Opponents of neoliberalism are Nazis. First of all, fucking commies are opponents of neoliberalism, but they are not Nazis at all. That's no. But you won't actually show any of the things that like Candace Owens say or that you say or Richard Spencer say that actually get them punched. Instead, you just say they're just gonna punch them because they disagree. You're not gonna show the stuff that Sargon says. You're not gonna show that Sargon talking about I wouldn't even rape somebody. You're not gonna talk about the ways that he says that black people would just be wealthy if they just got married. It's their culture. And then when he's asked why, what about the culture? You respond something along the lines of, oh well, I don't know, but I know it's none of these things that sociology has looked into over decades and decades and done meta-analyses on. No, it can't be any of those things.
Therefore, we can conclude violence against opponents of liberalism is morally acceptable. The conservative side of this polemic makes a mistake. They agree to the left's premises. You'll see conservatives say, yes, well, Nazis are bad, and violence against Nazis is acceptable, but Antifa are the real Nazis. Democrats are the real Nazis and racists. They're accepting the left's framework and standards, but trying to redirect the ire of the argument back onto the people making it. DR3, Democrats are the real racists, and other arguments like that don't make sense, and nobody's convinced by them. They are cop-outs, feel-good arguments for conservatives to feel like they are the true liberals. They are the real liberals in the situation, and it's actually those evil Democrats who are being illiberal. If you make that argument, you're setting liberalism as the thing to be aspired to. You're just arguing that conservatives are better at being liberal and egalitarian than the left is. But when you're doing that, you're arguing from a position of weakness. They aren't shouting Nazi and racist in good faith. They're not really making an argument. They're not being genuine. They're simply shouting.
I mean, I feel like we've been pretty genuine here. We've looked up things and decided, based on these things, that's why these people are probably, at minimum far-right fascists and, probably Nazis.
Insulting, derogatory term. And facially, these arguments don't sound good either. Leftists are the real Nazis is like a elementary school girl tired of being teased, saying boys are the real poop heads. In politics, people and groups have their reasons for disliking other people and groups and disagreeing with them, sure. But using language defined by your adversary, using pejorative language defined by your adversary, never works. They own that language, and trying DR3 style arguments is like a child saying, I know you are, but what am I? And it furthers this American phenomenon of nobody having real conversations. Blue team says red team are Nazis. Red team says we are the real liberals. Blue team are actually Nazis. Nobody gets any smarter, nothing happens, we all lose, and we can't stand each other more and more by the day.
I mean, and let's accept if you actually engage with a lot of the leftist, a lot of leftist literature and a lot of leftist, not even real leftist, just like academic stuff, you'll learn that that's not at all why people think this way. It's not just some blanket Republican bad or whatever. It's a very direct, here are the things that they support that are bad, and if they didn't support those things, we wouldn't think they were nearly as bad. I don't know. I don't have anything to say about that. It's just wrong. It's not even an argument.